Before the first dam was built at Jackson Lake in 1906, spring runoff from the mountains caused severe flooding. These bottomlands were nearly inhospitable and few settled here. In 1902, the Reclamation Act was signed by President Theodore Roosevelt to encourage settlement in the arid West. Access to water was needed for successful agriculture, so the government provided the expertise to build dams, irrigation ditches, canals, and reservoirs. Those benefiting would pay for the work in installments over a period of years. The outlet of Jackson Lake was identified as an area in need of a dam at the turn of the century. The tiny settlement of Moran was the last stop before Yellowstone National Park's south entrance. Before the National Park Service formed in 1916, the U.S. Army troops patrolled Yellowstone. Moran was the last reliable place for supplies before undertaking the 23-mile journey, and many troops overnighted here. The Reclamation Service built their camp at Moran and dominated the local population. Recognizing the prime location, Benjamin Sheffield arrived early in 1903 and built a lodge. His intuition was correct, and his Teton Lodge became one of the largest tourist destinations in the valley, accommodating 300 guests. The military town of Moran grew, and services opened to cater to the inflow of troops, servicemen, and tourists. A modest hospital was built years before the town of Jackson would receive a resident doctor. The construction of the log and dirt infill dam in 1906 helped stave off the worst of the spring floods, but it failed just 3 years later. The impermanent materials were in constant need of maintenance, and it was decided to remove the old dam entirely and create a much larger, permanent structure. Construction on the new dam was completed in 1916. The townsite of Moran was relocated in 1955, but the dam remains, with some reinforcement work during the 1980s. The area has become a popular destination for fishing and paddling, which wouldn't have been possible if the U.S. Army hadn't needed protection from flooding every spring.